Rich, we're in a BBM draft. We are in a Best Ball Mania 3 draft. We drew the 6th pick. Shocking, because all I do is draft from 6, 7, 8.
Right in purgatory?
Right in here in the middle. Look, I typically like to draft on the bookends, right? I want to be 1, 2, or 11, 12. That's kind of where I like to live. But like Underdog Fantasy is challenging me to learn how to draft better from the middle of the rounds. And look, it's not all bad. You can kind of manage things and be a little bit more nimble from the middle than you can maybe from the bookends. So let's see what type of draft that we can pick here. We're working together on this one. We got 6. So who kind of do you want to target in this spot? Are you targeting 0 RB, or are you just taking best available and then build from there? What's your strategy when drafting from the middle?
Well, in this large tournament like this, like I said, I don't have any problem with, like I said, getting weird. If you like a player that maybe goes typically like 109 or towards the turn, we can get that player and make a unique stack with him. I don't know where you also come out on like the trying to stack like week 17 stuff. But I am more trying to draft like team stacks in this in onslaught matchups towards the end, because I'm just we're playing for one spot basically. Like we're trying to win this thing. So that's kind of where I come out. So first round, if we have a player that you just like an Austin Eckler or whatever, we can take him and try to build that way and just build around the player that's highest. Or we can kind of try to get creative here, like with guys that have a little bit lower ADP, like a Dalvin Cook, and build that way.
So we've got Jamar Chase and Austin Eckler. Those are going to be the top 2 players that are left to us. Chase, Eckler, then there's Devontae Adams, Cook. Top 4 was Taylor, Kupp, Jefferson, McCaffrey.
2 teams that are extremely hard to stack, by the way. Throughout, the Chargers are an expensive team stack, and the Bengals are a really expensive team stack. Like we won't have Mixon. Like you already can like rule.
So we're on the clock though. 13 seconds. You want Eckler here? Do you want Devontae Adams, Cook, Diggs, Kelsey?
Let's take Devontae Adams. Let's do something different here.
Okay.
Right. Like let's do this, because now we can have an open here where we can build like Raiders 49ers stacks together. And we can kind of get creative and maybe pair that with like another team stack, like Arizona. I told the team we can stack pretty palatably. We can do potentially like mixing in, what else do we got? The Bears, the Lions are teams that play each other towards the end. We can do Raiders 49ers for like as our week 17 maybe kind of lock-in matchup.
So are you heavy? I'm gonna do a video on that tomorrow. That's the next video that I have to do in here, is looking at the playoff weeks in general, right? 15, 16, 17. Which teams should we be stacking? Should we be having a bring back player from a implied point totals point of view, from a pace up point of view, and from an overall playoff matchup point of view, right? Because like it's great to have that week 17, but like once you get out of the regular season, weeks 1 through 14, week 15 and 16 is DFS. You're playing one week. Got to come in the top 1 or 2 in your little conference that they put together for you. Otherwise, you don't live to the next week. So, like, having that week 17 onslaught is great, unless you're not alive. Like, you need to be alive to get there. So, like, going all in, like, I want to have exposure to, like, some bring back stuff in week 17. But, like, I'm not shoving all in on, I need 8 players from sure, like if you have Bengals and Bills, those are great standalone plays every single week. So if you build a team where the Bills play the Bengals in the final game on Monday night in week 17, and you make it to the finals, you're going to have 2 offenses that are going to be high powered throughout the season. So you're going to score a lot of fantasy points anyway, in theory. And then also if that game scores 70 real life points on Monday Night Football, then yes, you're going to
That's why I think you start on the team level, right? Like you want to invest on teams like we let off in the video that you're going to cut off and make a separate video. Teams you can believe that are going to be successful, right? That's what we want to like build around, like teams that have access to be like a 500 team or better and potential ceiling for more. And then you kind of build around those spots first. And then you try to build in your stacks, your secondary playoff type stacks around that.
So who are we looking at the 19 pick at 2-7? You had mentioned you wanted to build San Francisco team stuff with this. So I've just clicked Deebo Samuel just to highlight him here. Who would be some other players that you're looking at? We have top players available with 4 picks before we go. Mark Andrews, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill just went. Mike Evans, who I've actually been clicking a lot the last couple of days.
Why not?
DeAndre Swift, there goes Mike Evans at 16 overall. Aaron Jones, who should see some increased usage in the passing game this season with Devontae, our first round pick, gone off to Las Vegas. But where are we leaning here? We're one pick away.
Yeah, I would say if you look at just like the roadmap, in terms of where we don't want to reach on these stacks either, you've got Debo, and that gives us a unique start because we're going wide receiver start. Then you've got your option basically of Waller or Kittle, maybe in the 4th round, and it keeps our 3rd round open to maybe get a guy.
Who's our backup if we don't get, if Raise It takes Debo, who's our backup for this pick? He did not. We want Debo here? He took Leonard.
Yeah, I say let's do it. Let's swerve into it. Let's at least start like this.
All right, we got Devontae and Debo.
And the cool thing about this is both quarterbacks are relatively affordable. If we miss on one, the other is typically available still. Now this, I like this maybe start, is that we might be able to get a good running back still in the 3rd round for going wide receiver. We have the option to maybe sometimes Saquon goes here. And listen, Al, I know you're a 5 running back box checker. I am just going to smash Saquon in the 3rd round.
I've been clicking him so much.
It's just, no, I understand. I get the eye roll people have with Saquon, but then say Saquon's gone, we might have the option to do our Arizona stack peppered in with this. We can layer in James Conner potentially in the 3rd round, and it gives us a running back that has that 5 box checking ability too as well.
Yeah.
So this is cool because like Waller and Kittle typically don't go till like where we pick in the 4th round. So it gives us kind of the leeway to take either guy and take a running back here in the 3rd round around this initial playoff stack that we've built.
I'm going to mark Waller and Kittle just to have them marked so that we don't forget about them as we come up on that pick. So Saquon is he's our number 1 guy that we want on our draft board right now. Who would our 2 and 3 be at this pick?
I would say James Conner would be a guy I'd be looking at because it like gives us access to build an Arizona stack around this. And Arizona, we don't necessarily need a run back either. So we could potentially, if we want to take a quarterback early, because we already mentioned Trey Lance and Derek Carr don't have early quarterback ADPs. If we want to take early round quarterback, we could mix in Kyler, and then we could potentially build like Zach Ertz as a tight end too, Rondale Moore later, access to a lot of those matchups that we talked about on our Arizona part of the call that plays Denver, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta in the fantasy playoffs.
Michael Pittman just went at 27, one of your breakout candidates at wide receiver. Kyle Pitts at 28, right behind him. Josh Allen at 29. He's kind of settled into the 3rd round recently, so we want Saquon here at a 5-pick value on ADP.
Yes, we do.
I click him so much. Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
We have Saquon, Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel. Kind of like that trio to start.
Because I put on I had to switch to the Twitch so I could see the draft because you have a green screen on Zoom. And I don't know if there's a delay, so I can't tell.
It's like 6-7 seconds.
Gotcha.
So I'll put the draft board up and we can just kind of follow.
So yeah, I mean, this worked out well, taking 2 wide receivers to open and still getting a 5 box checking running back.
Now we're hoping that I would prefer Kittle to Waller. In a vacuum, which one do you prefer? And then I'll tell you why I prefer Kittle to Waller.
I slightly prefer Waller just because we talked about the AFC West arms race and just them playing in more games that could be back and forth. Whereas if the 49ers get leads on teams, like what are they doing?
Yeah, they're going to run the hell out of the ball and deflate it and all those sorts of things.
And the other thing that Kittle does have in his range of outcomes is the Lance factor. It could be great for Kittle, or maybe it's bad. We don't know. It's
That's true. See,
but
I think that if I'm betting on upside,
yes,
I want to bet on if we're drafting a San Francisco stack, I'm betting on the fact that we have QB1 overall upside with Trey Lance. If he is a QB1 overall, we're talking 25 to 35 type of touchdowns through the air, just like that Lamar season. And you kind of know where they're going to go. Sutton and Judy connected at the hip going at 36 and 37. Deontay Johnson at 35. Jalen Waddle at 34. Coming back around. And interesting, CG on the end of the draft started Dalvin Cook, Travis Kelce, Sutton Judy at 3-4. So he's going to be targeting Russ a little bit later and probably Alberto around round 12, 13.
And that's a week 17 stack itself, KC Denver.
Yeah.
And we talked about how it is hard now to get Cortland Sutton and Judy on the same roster. And that's how you have to do it when you have back-to-back picks.
And specifically with 11 and 12, because they're going just over 40. So if you want to assure that you get both of them, you're probably going to have to do it from those spots.
Absolutely. But we know what he's going to try to do the rest of the draft. I love that start, though. I love Dalvin. Dalvin's one of my favorite players to draft. at his discount this year, coming off last year. Minnesota in general is one of my favorite stacking teams because of the Kevin O'Connell factor. I mean, you look at this team's going to be a base 11 personnel team this year. They ran over 300 more plays than the Vikings did in 11 personnel. And you look at I know the narrative is like, hey, this running back is going to get targeted more in the passing game every offseason, but look at where the Rams running backs lined up in terms of split and out wide compared to the Minnesota guys.
We have our choice, Waller or Kittle.
I will let you. I defer to you here because I felt like I steered the first kind of the start to this.
Okay, I'm going to go Kittle here.
That's fine at me.
Okay, I'm going to go Kittle here because the Raiders have so much. They're all the same, right? Waller doesn't run any routes over 10 yards. Renfro doesn't run any routes over 10 yards. Devontae Adams wins everywhere, but runs a lot of routes inside of 10 yards. I think that there is a chance that Waller goes somewhere else. Now, if he goes somewhere else, obviously they're bringing him in to target him and get him all those sorts of opportunities. But like, I think Kittle is the play that I want for upside in this spot, assuming that if we're going to target Trey Lance, and I think we're targeting Trey Lance whenever he comes up around ADP, maybe a round ahead of ADP or half round ahead of ADP. That gives us the opportunity to do that. And we can get Renfro if we want, because he's not going anywhere.
Right. He's going to be hanging out there later.
Yeah. So go on. I didn't want to interrupt you.
I was just saying, that if you look at the narrative of like running backs catching more passes this time of year, it runs rampant. But I actually do believe there is stock because you look at Sony Michel and Darrell Henderson, those guys ran almost 200 routes last year, lined up in the slot or out wide as wide receiver. And both Minnesota guys, Alexander Mattison, Dalvin Cook, combined for less than 60, fewer of those snaps. So that opportunity is going to be there for Dalvin Cook this year to actually catch more passes. And he had career lows in receiving last year.
Interesting. So we have coming up here at pick 54, we're 2 away. Terry McLaurin, another one of your breakout wide receiver guys.
Like
J.K. Dobbins on Baltimore. Amari Cooper, Juju Smith-Schuster, another breakout guy. Rashad Bateman. The whole breakout video is getting drafted right now. Josh Jacobs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, David Montgomery. Joe Burrow just went at 53. Who are we taking here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you stand on this, but I would lean towards, kind of McLaurin as like a standalone value here. There's nothing that really fits kind of our stacks right now that we would try to target.
So just getting a good player is never a bad idea. And as you had mentioned, Terry McLaurin, the league leader in terms of guys with over X amount of targets who had the most off-target throws coming his way last year. So imagine if just like, some more throws are actually on target, what he could do.
If we can get some of that, he plays in the right division, that division is ripe for anyone to kind of be good. I tried to make the case for Washington being a team that could be better than maybe some believe on the surface earlier. I like McLaurin there. And then it gives us more leeway here to still just shop whatever running backs. We're not ever reach on running back really ever.
Give me just a second. Chat said that somebody's already taken 3 quarterbacks. Oh, look, M. Goody has Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase and Mark Andrews.
Cool.
What a start. That is definitely a start. I'm not saying if it's a good start or a bad start, but it is a start.
I never get Burrow. I always forget that they have the cool ass picture of him on there.
Yeah, it is. You get to look at that all year.
He's not a guy that I often get at ADP because it feels a little overpriced unless I'm outright trying to make a Bengal stack, which is hard to do anyways. So.
Jalen Hurts and Russ Wilson going there.
Yes, the quarterbacks
60 and 61. So 5 QBs off the board to 2 teams through the 5-6 turn.
And so we knew that team was going to target Russ. We
didn't know they were going to target Jalen Hurts. Michael Thomas at 62.
Yeah, and one team started all running back ×5, it looks like, around us.
Right here. Eckler, Swift, Williams, Elliott, Dobbins. This is an interesting draft, to say the least.
Yeah, chaos, baby. Definitely. Some men just want to watch the world burn. He should never. If he takes another running back the rest of this draft,
you should not be drafting another running back.
Have his card pulled.
He's got a badge, though. He is a highly experienced player, so he's going in with
a
robust running back strategy.
It's not something I would do, but all those players are pretty good. So
he's going in with a philosophy, and maybe this is just somebody who's going to draft a ton of teams goes in with the philosophy that, look, I'm going to do things differently. We got to focus on our pick. Coming up here, we're 1 away. We are on the clock. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Elijah Moore here.
I do. Is Kyler Murray still available?
No, he got drafted.
Oh, okay. I thought Kyler was still available.
No, he went like a round ago. Quarterbacks are going a little bit early here.
All right, so we definitely can't get one of those top quarterback guys. to try to build the Arizona stack into this.
I'm going to go more because we got 4 seconds left.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, we did not do a good job of planning for that pick. That was my fault.
No, we were. Yeah.
I'm bad host. So
we could have. You know what? We blew it. We probably should have taken Elijah Mitchell, right?
I don't know. Do you want to get I don't like taking a running back, especially a running back that does not catch passes.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but I mean, just to complete the onslaught here.
Possible, right? Do you buy into the fact that they drafted this kid?
No.
Immediate
He's not good at all. Like that, and granted, that system's it's produced. Elijah Mitchell was a good player, and he had good college production and looked a good player on the surface. There's people that had support for him. Tyrion Davis Price, this dude, he only got what was completely blocked for him. He didn't do very much on his own, and none of that speed that he had really showed up on any tape. So I mean, I'm very hesitant.
All right,
but
no, I want your takes. I love them.
But if we're gonna bypass Elijah Mitchell, I think it makes sense to add him on this roster.
Okay, yeah, fair. Just for the ADP discount from one to the other.
And because if something were to happen, I feel like he would make sense drafting on this team though.
Okay, so we go 78 and 91. Trey Lance has an ADP of 91. Do we take Trey Lance here a round early with all these quarterbacks that have come off the board, and maybe people are going to feel a little bit of FOMO at quarterback with Brady, Prescott, and then Trey Lance? Do we secure our guy in this spot, or do we gamble and wait around and take one of these running backs like Miles Sanders or CEH or Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah, I think we have Ayuk is a possibility here too, right?
Yeah, he's there.
He just goes, fits the mold of what we're doing, just going crazy. Renfrow probably makes the most sense because it gives us the double run back.
So we're going to gamble with Trey Lance and leave him out there.
Is he the top quarterback? What are the top quarterbacks?
He's 5 seconds.
All right, I think we have to take Lance thanks to the quarterback room.
Yeah. Because everybody's gone nuts, and hope that one of Renfrow or Ayuk maybe falls to us, or we take one of these running backs with the next pick. Let's sort out our next picks.
Yeah, we're bad at laying this out, but I think
I think Ayuk or Renfrow are our 2 top picks for that.
2 locks, and then if not, then I would be for either adding a Miles Sanders, CEH, or Kadarius Toney.
Okay,
or even Thielen. If Thielen will slide, I imagine he'll go in this mess here.
Yeah, he's got the ADP of 73.
Thielen's such a complete better and a best ball guy.
Yes. Because of just how many he's a 2 touchdown game waiting to happen 3 times a season.
And plus his outlook in season long comes with so much baggage, right? He's a guy who's been hurt the past 2 years. He's at the age apex. He's beyond it. He just fits taking in these scenarios way more.
So let's look at the board.
Renfrow is gone.
Yeah, Renfrow went.
Dak was still out there.
Yeah, there was Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, and then Trey Lance. So if we take Ayuk there, we might get Trey Lance on the way back. The Jalen Hurts team just took Dallas Goedert. He took Brandon Ayuk.
So we lost Renfrow and Ayuk.
There goes CEH. We have Kadarius Toney left on our list. Is there a running back that you want to plug here, or should we just keep drafting wide receivers and just go 0 running back from hell with our hero?
What's running backs at right now?
Running backs: Kareem Hunt, Cordell Patterson, MG3, Devin Singletary, who I kind of like, but not here.
Yeah, I mean, this team build would fit a guy like Melvin Gordon or Kareem Hunt because we've kind of built out having more 0 RB-ish in the range of outcomes. We can also probably get one of those guys, definitely Gordon, on the way back. We're
up next. Do you want Kadarius Toney here?
Yeah, because we have Barkley. It gives us another back channel stack, right?
Yeah, with where's Daniel Jones? QB 24 right now, somewhere in that range, going around pick 160s, 160 to 170. And I do like him as a QB2. He's on my my top 5 quarterbacks in that range. So Kadarius Toney in this spot?
Yeah, and I also love the idea of you always buying year 2 wide receivers, and we have a pair of them. Will either of these guys work out? We don't know, but year 2 wide receivers at a discount, always that's the year. Everyone talks about year 3. Year 2 is the guy to buy the spike.
Year 3 is the quarterback year. Year 2 is the wide receiver year. And we added some extra correlation. They both play in New York. So we have that New York correlation going. Same city correlation. Important. Probably not important, but it's something nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say one of the zero RB guys makes the most sense coming back, whether it be Hunt or Gordon, because you're just trying to run and do an optimal outcome with those guys. And each guy has a little bit of standalone value on their own for best ball.
Mm-hmm. So we're definitely going running back at this next pick.
I believe so, because we've pretty much, I imagine this is the point of Underdog where wide receiver.
You also have Derek Carr available with an ADP of 108.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
So I leave it to you. You tell me which one you want between Hunt, Gordon, Singletary, or Carr.
I mean, we're getting a discount on Hunt here, right? A little bit.
Yeah, we're going to be getting a little discount on Hunt, Singletary, and Hunt just went. So a little bit over on Gordon and Singletary, but well within range. Same with Derek Carr, like 6 picks ahead of ADP on most.
Which one do you want? I would say Gordon, but I'm fine with either, to be honest. All right, you might be able to get both if you take Singletary.
Let's go. So should we go Gordon in this spot and then?
Yeah, I say Gordon.
All right, Gordon it is. Saquon Barkley, Melvin Gordon III. Melvin Gordon III. I usually talk about drafting 40% guys at running back in this range. Players that have like 40% of the snaps and touches, and they're an injury away. Last year, my guy in this range until the Cam Akers injury was Darrell Henderson. You draft a guy that already has a role on a team, is already going to see touches, and then the possibility of blowing that up to becoming a 60 or 70% guy at the running back position. And you have that in Melvin Gordon. He's like a 45 to 50% guy. They split them 50-50 last year. Remains to be seen if they're going to do that in year 2 of Javonte, but they didn't bring him back to not play him. And we've seen Green Bay, because the coaching staff did come from there, splitting Aaron Jones with both Williams and A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we on the run back, we take Carr if he's there. If not, then we just add Daniel Jones to the queue for later.
Mm-hmm. Chase Edmonds. What are your thoughts on Edmonds? What are your thoughts on Ramondre Stevenson? There goes Carr.
Yep. So now you have to add Daniel Jones.
We'll add Daniel Jones, and I'm sure you probably hate him, but I'm going to add Zach Wilson too, since we got Elijah.
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys are probably bad football players, but we're okay.
But like they both go in that same 160 to 170 ADP range, and we have a little bit of correlation as a QB2.
Yeah. The only thing is, if we do take one of these guys at Lance, this might be a 3 QB team. Like, it'll be interesting to kind of play out.
Well, Daniel Jones has the same bye week as Lance. Zach Wilson does not.
So that would definitely, I would say inherently it'd be a 3 QB team anyways with those guys, just in terms of the volatility we'd have with those guys. So then we maybe would add like Carson Wentz to the Q2 with McLaurin, and then you get like 3 kind of quarterbacks.
Get 3 real guys who could all be trash cans.
Yes.
So running back, we have 2 running backs. We got 5 receivers, 1 tight end, plenty of tight ends that we could draft to fill in behind Kittle, because if Kittle stays healthy, he's an absolute stud. So Edmonds or Ramondre Stevenson, where are you sitting on these running backs? Edmonds, Stevenson, White, Rashad Penny, Michael Carter, and Dameon Pierce being in that spot. Yeah. Stevenson just going there at 111.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Stevenson, he has like the most 3-down potential of the New England backs. They've just been so reluctant to ever play a guy 3 downs while they have kind of their full allotment of guys. And they added Kevin Harris this year and Pierre Strong. So I don't know if we'll ever see that kind of usage like he had the 2 games where basically Damian Harris was out and James White was already on the shelf last year. So
remember that team that drafted 5 running backs early?
Did he take more?
He's up to 8.
Yeah, so he's just out here for chaos. Like this dude's he's just here for the chaos.
What are we even doing?
Yeah, he's definitely here for the chaos. You like the opportunity for Pierce, but he's another one of those guys that fits like one of those teams that could be terrible and just like doesn't really help us.
So we need are we taking a running back here or are we passing? We have 15 seconds.
Yeah, I would take another receiver or a tight end.
We have Galladay, Jameson Williams, Rondale Moore, Michael Gallup, top tight end Mike Gesicki. 5 seconds.
Oh, tight end is gross then. So yeah, maybe Galladay. I don't know. We just swerve into this.
All right, I took Galladay. Yeah, we had 2 seconds left.
Yeah, that's another good job of planning. We got
Alexander Matt. Yeah, we got to plan out our next pick.
We have to also have a plan of backup tight end here. What do we got going on for backup tight end?
Sure. So tight ends, Mike Gesicki, Irv Smith, who I've drafted a ton of, Aquabuna.
Oh yeah, love Irv Smith. If you want to add some of these guys to the queue,
that's what I'm doing.
Albert O for sure.
Yeah, Tunyon
and Njoku.
Tonyan, Njoku.
Oh, we've got some options. Okay.
Yeah, and then like my favorite late click has been Hayden Hurst on Cincinnati. I've been clicking the hell out of him in round 16 and beyond.
Cole Kmet's there too. When you said Gesicki, I started to get freaked out, man.
So like Jamison Crowder is another guy that I love in this range. We're coming up on pick 126. We're 3 away. Top running backs: Rachaad White, Michael Carter on the Jets, Dameon Pierce on Houston.
I think Pierce fits this build.
Okay, I'll slide.
We're looking for a little bit more. We didn't go full zero RB, but like we went with anchor running back, where we're just looking to run into some guys around Saquon.
Yeah, little running back run here with Penny, Jones, and Rachaad White going.
He would make the most sense. Michael Carter would make sense as well.
Which one do you prefer, Pierce or
probably Carter? Pierce, just because of the more inline opportunity. Whereas like we outright need a Breece Hall injury, I think, for Michael Carter to hit.
See, Carter fits into that. Well, we have Pierce available right now.
Yeah, and he's below ADP, right? Or just right now, he's right
at
on
it. He's like at ADP.
Yeah, I think Pierce makes the most sense for this build.
All right. See, I like Carter as, like I said, that 40% type guy.
Yes, I do too.
Where like, if I understand what I'm getting into, right? He's going to have a role, but it's not going to be the lion's share unless they're saying, you know what, we're going to get Breece Hall and he's going to touch it like Harris did for Pittsburgh. He's getting like 95% of the touches. But like, then why are you having Michael Carter even on your roster at that point? So like, he's got to have a role, 35, 40%. And then running backs do get injured. And if they do, you have a situation where this guy plays. Our next pick, are we going tight end 2 here? Or are we drafting our 4th running back with Michael Carter? Are we going for one of Irv Smith, Aquabunum, Tonyan? And what's rank those 3 tight ends?
Smith, I think we've got enough tight ends where we can flirt with the devil here on the comeback and to fall through.
We can.
Albert O would be my top guy out of those guys, then probably Njoku, then Irv, then Tonyan. But I'm fine with all of those guys.
Okay.
For sure.
I just wanted to order them. There goes Gesicki at 130.
I do like the idea of Carter here because I think it fits what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives us just like, we can throw we'll really have to take one more running back the rest of the draft, right?
Yeah. And we can take one of those around round 15 and beyond.
Yeah. And then we can just kind of take the BPA and like, we know we want to wait on these quarterbacks here.
Yeah. We don't have to take them yet. We can get one of them at the next 1 or 2 picks.
And I already think like this is a 3 QB team.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely is if we take Daniel Jones because of the bye week.
And then taking like Wentz around, 200 or Mac Jones or Jared Goff, just some one-off late. Jameis Winston, we talked about the New Orleans wide receivers or pass-catching crew as a whole. What are your thoughts on, not that he's in our queue here. Well, I put him in the queue, but like, what are your thoughts on Jamison Crowder this year on Buffalo as that slot guy?
I mean, I don't mind anyone taking the pull at ADP. I think there's a decent signal though with them adding James Cook and bring Isaiah McKenzie back that they might use a few players kind of in that near the line of scrimmage kind of role. Mm-hmm. But the opportunity is there for him. And Jamison Crowder is definitely a viable, good player. I think when you pair his contract, what he was given, and then the other signings and drafting picks that they made, it sounds like they're going to get some other guys involved in that area of the field too. But I don't have any pushback on people that like Jamison Crowder at all.
So as I've got it right now, our 1 and 2 at this pick are Michael Carter and Aquabunum. Both are available with 2 picks left. We could get double sniped in this spot. If we do, what is our pick after that? We did not get double sniped in that spot, by the way.
We did not. Okay.
No. So we have one of Carter or Alberto in this spot.
Another guy too that I really like, and I don't know if we'll be forced to do it, that goes super late, is Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, he's like around 190 to 200.
Dude, he's like left for dead.
Yeah,
like absolutely left for dead.
People hate him.
But he's another guy that already has like a functional, like we've seen him have a functional fantasy season
Isaiah
already.
Spiller just went before us, so we're taking Carter here.
Yeah, I like it. I think that gives us
in.
Yeah, our kind of guys that are usable running backs, and we take one more running back maybe.
We can take that running back 16 or later, round 16 or later.
Yeah, and we can throw a dart, and we've got usable guys around Saquon. It could have ended up a lot worse, right? Like,
of course,
RB. Like,
we're gonna get some usage out of Melvin Gordon. We're gonna get some usage out of Dameon Pierce. We're gonna get some usage out of Michael Carter.
Yeah, we took our second running back in the hundreds, so it could have been a lot worse.
What we need is Saquon Barkley not to step on somebody's foot and roll his ankle.
Yes,
randomly.
Absolutely. So we kind of have like a free board here for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. There goes Jamison Crowder at 141, a couple of picks after ADP.
What's the top of the receiver position looking like still?
Corey Davis, DJ Chark, Robbie Anderson, David Bell, Devontae Parker, Bill Fuller.
Yeah, so a bunch of just swings.
Do we want to lock in? So the quarterbacks that we have targeted, I've got Zach Wilson at 166. We're coming up on pick 150, and then we would pick at 163. If he's available, he may not be. It would be 6 picks ahead of ADP here.
And Albert O is the same buy as Kittle and Njoku, right?
Yeah, they're all 9s.
And Irv is 7.
Irv is 7.
So
I kind of think Irv is our pick here.
So he's in the move because if we were to take Albert O and Njoku, it would force a 3 tight end, and we already want to go 3 quarterback probably.
We'd have to be short on a wide receiver at that point.
Yes. And we don't want to really do that.
Yeah, I like 2, 5, 8, 2, and then fill in one spot where we're weak in the 18th round is kind of the typically the way that I go.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. So I think that by default, that moves Irv up a little bit.
Well, Irv could fall to us here. We need Irv, and then I've got Corey Davis behind him.
Which makes sense because we've already taken
to hopefully get that Wilson. More. So we've got Irv if we want it here. We want Irv in this spot, yes?
Yes.
All right, we got him.
I mean, I would have been cool, like on the surface of wanting Alberto over him, but we would have backdoored ourselves into having to take a third tight end.
Specifically to this team having a separated bye week. Now we don't have to take a third tight end because we do have a premium, and we can focus on getting that third quarterback with a 5 running back, 8 wide receiver build.
Absolutely.
So the question is, at our next pick, Zach Wilson will be like 4 picks ahead of ADP. We do have
so you basically
Michael
can take
Carter.
All the tight ends off of there.
I want to keep Hayden Hurst on the list just because I like seeing when he goes.
That's fair. I'll allow it.
I'm going to take Daniel Jones off the list because he has the same bye week as our quarterback. And we're going to hope that Zach Wilson makes it to us in this pick.
Julio Jones is another guy. I don't know if you've been drafting.
Where is he going to end up? I need your intel on this. Where is he gonna
my bull case for Julio at ADP is that there's no way he signs with a bad team, right?
I mean, it feels like Indy is the right spot, right?
I still think Tampa Bay is a potential.
So you're saying, I would assume that is if Godwin is going to be out for a while.
Yes.
He's not ready to come back.
And Tampa Bay's already shown too that they're like they could bring him in. I could definitely see Tampa. Indy makes the most sense, and Baltimore is the other one, right? Those are the most obvious spots.
Yeah, Indy and Baltimore are my top 2 landing spots for him.
But I feel like there's no way he signs with a bad team.
No.
That's the kind of the bull case. Like he's gonna sign with a team that is good, and we talked about like where these seasons come from that like beat ADP, that crush ADP. They come attached to good teams, right?
Yeah.
And we already do have we say that as we have Giants and Jets.
We have Giants and Trey Lance who are about to draft Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, welcome to the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I do these Prism box openings in the next week or two, we're going to need to pull some Trey Lance and Zach Wilson.
And Daniel Jones just went.
Yeah, so he went right before Zach Wilson. Thankfully, it was not the other way around.
Well, this whole team relied on Trey Lance being good anyway, so hey.
If we're going to gamble, let's gamble big, right? Trey Lance has QB1 upside. And not a QB1, the QB1. He could run for 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns and throw for 25.
We've done this 3 years in a row.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson in 2019, Josh Allen in 2020, Jalen Hurts in 2021. These guys that people don't believe in like the ceiling or any type of ceiling exists for these guys. They end up coming at a little bit of a discount because everyone knows rushing is at least still valuable. But if you run into that spike passing season, like that is going to tear the roof off. Dude, people forget Jalen Hurts was going to be the QB1 last year. Like he was on his way.
And the year before that, Kyler Murray before he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, we got a pick coming up here in 3 picks. Do you want Julio in this spot? It's 20 picks ahead of ADP.
I don't hate it. How do you feel about
or is there someone else you want?
I don't know. JD McKissick is kind of fits his team, or Curtis Samuel also fits this team. If we do take Wentz,
up to you. McKissick's fine with me.
And that basically shuts down running back. We don't have to take another running back at all.
I thought that them re-signing him was so interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean him going to the Bills was going to be interesting too.
Yeah. All right, so we get McKissick here.
I think so.
Okay. So now
It's like
we've got our 5 running backs. We do not need another running back. We have Barkley as our hero, surrounded by Gordon, Pierce, Carter, and McKissick. 3 of those guys could slide into a number 1 job. McKissick never going to slide into the number 1 job. Even if there's an injury to Antonio Gibson, they'll probably slide the rookie Robinson Jr. in that and keep McKissick in his James White-ish role.
He probably gives us some usable weeks, though.
I agree.
He's like a best ball roster smoother.
I agree.
Those guys are way better in best ball than they are season long. So you have to get them right in season long where we don't have to.
And you're drafting him as your final running. We're drafting him as an RB5 or RB6.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, we can add Curtis Samuel to the queue. We can decide between him and Julio as the wide receiver. I don't know if you have a preference or if you like anybody else.
No, I mean, you told the tale on Julio, and I like the story that you told.
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne's another one of those guys that's interesting because he had 4 20-point games last year.
Where's Samuel? Why can't I find him?
Oh, someone said he just went in the chat.
Okay.
I have the Twitch up, so we missed him. But that would have been like a whole like Washington onslaught,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, and then again, we would have had the Deebo Samuel and Curtis Samuel correlation.
Yeah, I mean, Sammy Watkins is another one of those guys that, we talk about has that team attachment, right? Like you're going to take gambles. If you're going to do drafting, like you take gambles on guys on good teams mostly.
Yeah.
Or we believe that can be round 500 or higher.
So speaking of that, what about an Odell Beckham Jr.?
My problem with Odell is no one expects him to play until
the
December.
Injury. Yeah.
Like literally everyone has said.
Or Will Fuller.
And I don't know what the hell's going on with Fuller. Did his finger fall off or something?
I don't know. Like I don't know what's happening. So we want Julio here.
Julio. Fuller or Julio, I think, are the pick because they're going to sign somewhere good, right?
And when they sign somewhere, they're going to have like an 8-round uptick. So which one do we want, Julio or Fuller?
I would say Fuller just because the age apex thing, right? Like
okay.
He's younger. He gets the type of targets that we know are like I said.
Imagine Will Fuller in Baltimore.
Yeah, absolutely. Any of those spots.
Or in Indy. Imagine him if he signs in Indy as the field stretcher, because that's not Pittman. Pittman is not going to be the field stretcher. So if you add a field stretcher to that offense and lighten the boxes for Jonathan Taylor, or if they don't lighten the boxes, then they get beat over the top. Fuller on Indy could be the one thing that really breaks that offense wide open.
Yeah, I'm real curious what's going on with him. He tweeted that picture of his surgery in February. We haven't heard anything since.
So are we getting a third quarterback? Is that where we're going here?
I mean, I think it makes some sense unless you want to add a third tight end. But
there went Hayden Hurst at 194. I think he's an absolute steal everywhere he's been going in drafts.
We're at 7 receivers still?
We are at 7 receivers, 5 running backs. There are receivers available in round 18. We did want to add another quarterback. I'm fine with Carson Wentz in this spot.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
Get a little veteran influence in our quarterback room to go along with the 2 young guys. Maybe they'll add, maybe they'll add pass interference yards to the quarterbacks this year. He's going to get some of those. I love the news tag here. Uninspiring effort in loss. That's what we want to draft. That's our guy.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely pushed we drafted we had some bad team stacks going. Giants, Jets, and Washington.
After spending like 45 minutes talking about how breakouts come from good quarterbacks on good winning teams, we drafted a team around Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, and Carson Wentz.
Everyone fell for the ruse.
People who watch the channel every day are going to be very confused by the build on this team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's I won't have a team that probably looks like this again. But
I want to look at the draft board at the end of this.
I don't hate this stuff.
No, this team is not terrible. Look, we are building a tournament team. Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 9th place team or.
Yeah, we're going to come in like 10th or we're going to be like 200 points ahead by week 14.
Absolutely. Because if Saquon's good, then we're in good shape.
Oh, if Saquon is, early Saquon in that DeBoll offense, we're golden. Question is, who is our final wide receiver going to be? We have guys like James Washington, Zay Jones, Sterling Shepard, who else? Pringle, Brian Edwards.
I assume someone finally
Devin Duvernay. That's our top 6 at wide receiver. Is there any one of the guys that I put in the queue there that you prefer, or give me an order and we'll rank them? We'll take the top one when it gets to us.
No strong lean on any of those guys. I mean, maybe you could talk yourself like into Duvernay as like the new Willie Snead and scores like 7 touchdowns somehow. But
what about Edwards in Atlanta with as much opportunity as exists there?
I mean, it's really hard because I said like he was so bad.
He's just
already.
not good.
Yeah, the problem is he's not good and the team's not good. At least some of the players we've taken on bad teams we believe are good players, right?
So we have to draft somebody on a good team now. So we have to draft Duvernay. Duvernay's got to be one.
At least we believe Terry McLaurin is a good football player. We believe Elijah Moore is a good football player. Mm-hmm. We believe Kadarius Toney is a good football player. But like Brian Edwards, we believe is a bad football player on a bad team. So
okay, well, there went Duvernay. If they take James Washington, we're not going to get a player on a good team. They can't take James Washington. Okay, they didn't take James Washington. Wow, Jimmy Garoppolo just went. Wow.
What about I saw some like what about Romeo Doubs? He could be like a nice start throw. Like any of the Green Bay guys that are
Romeo Doubs, got it. Boom. He's on our team. You just said a name. I have no idea who he is. But he's on our team now, and I love him. He's going to have a massive year.
He's the type of round 18 guy to draft, man. Like,
don't even know who he is.
Listen, anytime you can get the Nevada's finest.
I don't even know this guy.
I mean, listen. This is a unique team here. We got
that's one way to put it.
We have a week 17 stack in between 49ers and Raiders, and we have a bunch of sub stacks that are on bad teams.
So here's our team. From the 6th spot, Devontae Adams.
Did that team take all running backs? Did they do all
They took a lot. Took a lot of running backs, and then got Ryan Tannehill and Mac Jones super late. Pickens, Pierce, Dotson, a lot of rookie wide receivers.
They just took all rookie receivers.
Yeah, Amari Cooper and Thielen up top, and then the quarterback heavy team, Josh Allen, Herbert, and Burrow. So he's going to get like 30 points or 25 to 30 plus points from his quarterback every single week. And then took Deshaun Watson in round 12.
Looking at this board, though, I mean, unique board. Alvin Kamara in the 3rd is, man, woo. What a
is he slipping that much because of the fear of suspension?
I mean, but here's the interesting thing about Kamara is I talked earlier in the show about like how he played behind the most injured offensive line in the NFL last year, but he was like 2nd in expected points per game. His usage was through the roof. And if he doesn't get suspended because that hearing got pushed back to August, like if this thing lingers in season and just nothing happens, I mean, man, what a smash pick he's going to be in the 3rd round.
Of course. So we have Adams, Samuel, Barkley. Love the start. George Kittle. Love that. Terry McLaurin, one of our breakout guys. I'm personally pretty high on Elijah Moore. I think that the kid is actually good in an uptrending offense that spends a lot of money around a young quarterback. Trey Lance, big time upside. Obviously a tournament type play. Like he could be meat or he could be cake. I don't know which one it's going to be. He could be the QB1 if everything comes together in terms of like fantasy points per snap or per dropback. He's been like the best ever, or like one of the best ever. Kadarius Toney, if he can get his head screwed on straight, he'll be fine. Then we got Melvin Gordon because now we've got to get some running backs that fit. Melvin Gordon, Kenny Golladay because we ran out of time and I just clicked quickly. That was probably not who we really want. We probably should have taken Alexander Madison in that spot. Pierce, Michael Carter, Irv Smith, who both of us like, Zach Wilson as our QB2, J.D. McKissick, Bill Fuller, Carson Wentz is our QB3 to bring a little bit of age, bring the average age of our quarterback room up. And then Romeo Doubs, who I had not heard of until Reebs brought him up. So that's our squad. Reebs, thank you for joining me. Guys, go follow LordReebs on Twitter. And thank you guys for watching this video. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.